You can add a little flair to your background, or you can frame out a focal image by creating a checked or tiled background using your Scor-buddy or Scor-pal. Let me show you the tools and products you need to do this technique. First, you're going to need some lighter weight cardstock, and here I have a piece of the 80-pound Gina K Designs white cardstock. Then you're going to need either a Scor-buddy or a Scor-pal, and I'm going to use my Scor-buddy for this since I'm working with a smaller piece of paper. Then you're going to need some ink, and I'm going to use a little bit of the Memento Bahama Blue. I'm using one of the dewdrops and a sponge dauber. To begin, line up a piece of cardstock that's cut 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches up against the left-hand side of your Scor-buddy. And then I like to pull mine down just a little bit so that I can get the Scor tool up into this area and start on a Scor line. Now, I'm going to score 1/4 inch lines going down the entire piece of cardstock. So you just want to score on every 1/4 inch mark. And you're going to make nice, even lines. Then once you get a little bit close, you can flip it around. And you can work in the other direction. This way you're not working too close to the edge. Now this is going to make a very delicate tile, almost like a mosaic tile. Then I'm going to turn it a 1/4 turn, and I'm going to do the same thing again, doing those 1/4 inch lines going down the entire piece of cardstock. And if you're not 100% sure where the line should be, sometimes you can just check it first by making a little notch in it, and then if it looks like it's too close or too far apart, it might be the next line over. The Scor-buddy has a lot of different lines for a lot of different types of projects, which is great, although occasionally it can get a little bit confusing if you're trying to do just 1/4 inch lines. So just check before you actually make the Scor line so that your lines are even. Okay, almost done. And there we go. Okay, so now I've created this background of checks going all over my cardstock. Now they're very delicate and they're a little bit hard to see, especially on the camera on this white cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that sponge dauber and some of this Bahama Blue, and I'm going to ink up the dauber. And then using a circular motion, I'm going to accent all of these squares or tiles. And you can see now that pattern starts to really come up nice and bright. I like this. It almost gives the feeling of swimming pool tile when you do it in this color. It's so pretty. And what I also like about this is you'll notice that everywhere that you have a Scor line, the color looks darker than where it's hitting the flat parts of the paper. And that almost makes it look like you're using 2 colors of ink. But it's just because more of that ink is hitting the raised areas than hitting the flat areas. So I'm just doing the whole perimeter here. You can go back and darken it up a bit. And if you're using distress inks with this, you might want to blend several colors together to get a neat look. And there I've left room in the center for whatever I want it to be for. No sense in inking the entire thing up if you're going to put a focal image on top. Now let me show you a finished card that I made using this technique. Here is my Merry Little Christmas card. And this particular card uses stamps from the new Merry Little Christmas Stamp TV kit. I used the snowman and the greeting, "Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas." And I put my focal image onto a piece of red hot cardstock, and then I put that whole panel right on top of my tiled background. And you can see it gives a nice little checked perimeter and just gives a little bit of interest instead of just a plain piece of cardstock back there. And I also added a layer of white behind it to make the whole thing pop up a little bit from the surface, really stands out, and then put the whole thing on a red hot card base. Added a little ribbon and a bow, and I have a quick and easy holiday card ready to send out. Try making your focal image smaller so that additional rows of tiles show through. And if you're really ambitious, you can color each of the individual tiles different colors or alternating colors to create a brighter, more interesting frame around your focal image.